Hello, friends. In today's episode, we're going back to a very different time, a quieter time, a slower time, a time before Google, before YouTube, before walkthroughs, before forums, before anyone could search for answers. Back then, if you didn't know something in a game, you stayed not knowing, or you figured it out slowly, with patience, with trial and error, with friends sitting next to you, arguing, guessing, trying again, sometimes over hours, sometimes over days, sometimes over entire summers. This is the summer of 1988. Late afternoon sunlight drifts through a half-open window. The air is warm, still. Somewhere outside, a lawnmower hums faintly in the distance. Inside, a small room. Three friends sit cross-legged on the carpet. The TV is not big, not sharp, not bright. But to them, it's everything. A Nintendo Entertainment System rests beneath it, slightly worn, a little dusty. Controllers stretched across the floor, their cords slightly tangled from too many afternoons like this. And in Tommy's hands, there's a cartridge. Not gray, like all the others they've played. Not the familiar plastic they've grown used to. This one is different. Gold. It catches the light from the window, reflecting softly, almost glowing. Danny leans in, tilting his head slightly, trying to understand. Why is this one gold? Max shrugs, not taking his eyes off it. Because it's not like the others. There's a quiet respect in his voice, like he already knows. This game is going to be something else. Tommy doesn't say anything. He just turns the cartridge once more in his hands, feeling its weight, then gently slides it into the Nintendo, pushes it down. The small mechanical click feels important, almost like starting something bigger than they understand. He presses the power button, a soft electrical hum. The screen flickers once, then steadies, black for just a moment. Then, music begins. Soft, simple, but unlike anything they've heard before. No fast rhythm, no urgency, no flashing text telling them what to do. No press start countdown rushing them forward. Just a calm, open feeling. Like the game is waiting, not pushing, not guiding, just there. The three of them sit quietly. No one speaks, because something already feels different, not exciting in the usual way, not loud, not fast, but deeper, slower. Like this game isn't going to tell them anything, like they'll have to figure it out themselves. And without realizing it, that's exactly what pulls them in. Not knowing becomes the beginning, and for a moment, in that quiet room, with the golden cartridge still warm inside the console, it feels like anything could happen. And none of them yet understand just how much time they're about to spend trying to understand this world. The title screen fades, and in front of them, 3 empty save slots appear. Simple, no explanation, no description, just 3 names, waiting to be filled. Tommy pauses, his thumb hovering over the controller. Back then, this moment mattered, because once you started, this world would remember you. He presses the button, carefully entering a name, letter by letter. Not too long, because they've learned from other games. Sometimes long names don't fit. He settles on something simple. Link. Danny nods slightly. Yeah, that works. Max leans back, arms resting behind him. Let's see what this actually is. Tommy presses start. The screen fades again. No story. No scrolling text. No introduction explaining the world. Just silence for a brief second. And then, a small figure appears, standing alone in the middle of an open field. Green tunic, small shield, completely still. The screen doesn't move. Nothing rushes toward them. No enemies charging in. No flashing arrows telling them where to go. No voice, no message, just a character and a quiet world. Max frowns slightly, leaning forward. That's it. Tommy nudges the controller. Link moves. One step, then another. The screen scrolls, slowly revealing a new area. And that moment feels different from every other game they've played, because the world doesn't load all at once. It unfolds, one screen at a time, like pages in a book. Danny leans forward now, more focused. Which way are we supposed to go? Tommy doesn't answer, because he doesn't know. Max doesn't answer either, because there isn't an answer. Not yet. And that's the first thing this game teaches them. Without saying a single word, there is no right direction, no starting path, no safe route the game pushes you toward. Only choices: up, down, left, right, each one equally unknown. Tommy presses up. The screen shifts. Trees appear, forming uneven paths. Open spaces between them. Danny watches carefully. Feels like we're supposed to go somewhere important. Max shakes his head slightly. Or maybe everywhere is important. That idea lingers. Because unlike other games they've played, there's no timer, no score ticking upward, no sense of urgency. The game doesn't care if they stand still. And so, for a moment, they do. Just standing there, listening to the music loop gently in the background, watching nothing happen. And somehow, that feels intentional. Tommy moves again, this time to the right. The world shifts once more. More trees, different layout, subtle changes, but enough to feel like progress. Danny points slightly. Try going down after this. Tommy nods. He's not following instructions. He's following curiosity. And that becomes the real direction. Not where the game tells you to go, but where you feel like going. They begin to understand something, slowly, without saying it out loud. This isn't a game you complete in one sitting. It's a game you explore, a little at a time. A world that doesn't explain itself, because figuring it out is the whole point. And sitting there, on that carpet, with no guide, no hints, no way to search anything, that uncertainty doesn't feel frustrating. It feels wide open, like standing at the edge of something much bigger, with no idea how far it goes, and no reason to turn back. Tommy pauses. Link stands still again. The world is quiet, but this time, they notice something they didn't before. A small opening, just above them, hidden slightly between the edges of rock. Danny leans forward, squinting a little. Was that there before? Max tilts his head. I think so. We just didn't see it. That happens a lot in this game. Things are there. You just don't notice them until you slow down. Tommy presses up. Link moves toward the opening. The screen shifts. And suddenly, everything changes again. The colors dim slightly. The music softens. They're inside. A cave. No enemies. No movement. Just a single figure. An old man. Standing still. Waiting. The three of them instinctively lean closer to the screen. Because now, finally, something is about to be explained. Text appears. Slowly. It's dangerous to go alone. They read it silently. Then again, Danny smiles slightly. That sounds serious. Max nods. Yeah, like we're already doing something wrong. Tommy presses the button. The next line appears. Take this. And just like that, a sword appears beside the old man. No animation. No dramatic moment. Just placed there, quietly. Waiting. Tommy moves Link forward, touches the sword, and suddenly everything feels different. Because now they can fight. Danny says softly. Okay, now it starts. But even then, there's no tutorial, no instructions on how to use it, no explanation of timing, or range, or danger. Just a weapon, and the expectation that you'll figure it out. Tommy presses the attack button. Link swings. A short, quick motion. Not wide, not powerful. Careful. Max notices immediately. That's not a long reach. Danny adds. Yeah, you have to get close. Too close. That realization settles in quietly, because getting close means risk. Tommy turns Link, faces the old man again, swings once more. Nothing happens. The old man doesn't react. Max chuckles slightly. Probably shouldn't hit him. Tommy smiles. But there's something important in that moment. The game doesn't stop you. It doesn't warn you. It doesn't protect you from bad decisions. It simply lets you act. And learn. They step back toward the entrance. Danny says, So that's it. No more talking. Max shrugs. That's all we get. And somehow, that feels enough. Not because it explains everything, but because it gives just enough to begin. A warning and a tool. Nothing more. Tommy guides Link out of the cave, back into the sunlight. The music returns. The open world stretches out again. But now, it doesn't feel empty. It feels uncertain and slightly dangerous. Because now they understand something they didn't before. Every direction they choose is a decision, and every mistake is theirs to make. Danny leans back slightly. So, now what? Tommy looks at the screen, then moves Link forward, not because he knows where to go, but because now he has a reason to find out. Back outside, the light feels brighter, but the world doesn't feel as safe anymore, because now they understand something important. They're not alone out here. An enemy appears, small, round, moving slowly across the screen. Octorok. Tommy stops moving, watching it carefully. It doesn't rush. It wanders, almost casually. Then suddenly, it fires. A small rock shoots forward, fast, straight. Tommy flinches, moves too late. The rock hits Link. A small flash. A piece of the heart disappears. Danny reacts immediately. Oh, okay. That hurts. Max leans forward, eyes focused. Watch the timing. It stops before it shoots. They wait. The Octorok moves again. Pauses. And then another rock. This time, Tommy moves just before it fires. The rock passes beside him. That's the first lesson. Not speed. Timing. This game doesn't reward rushing. It rewards watching. Tommy steps closer, raises the shield instinctively. Another rock comes, and this time it deflects. The rock bounces away. Danny notices immediately. Wait, the shield blocks it. Max nods, but only from the front. They test it. Tommy turns slightly. The next rock hits from an angle. Damage again. Danny points. Yeah, has to be straight on. That becomes clear quickly. The shield isn't automatic protection. It's directional. And that means positioning matters. Tommy adjusts, faces the Octorok directly, waits, block, step forward, attack. The sword connects. The Octorok disappears. No dramatic effect. Just gone. A small drop appears. A rupee. Tommy picks it up. Max says quietly, "So enemies give stuff sometimes." Danny adds, "Not every time." They notice that too. Drops aren't guaranteed. Sometimes nothing appears. Which means fighting isn't just about clearing enemies. It's a decision. Risk versus reward. Tommy moves forward again. Another Octorok. This time, he doesn't rush. He waits. Watches the movement pattern. Left. Pause. Shoot. Right. Pause. Shoot. There's a rhythm to it. Not random. Predictable. Max says softly. They don't aim. They just shoot straight. That realization matters, because it means you don't dodge the enemy. You dodge the line. Tommy tests it. Moves slightly to the side before the pause. The shot misses completely. Cleaner. More controlled. He steps in. Attacks once. Then steps back immediately. Danny notices. Yeah, don't stay close too long. Because enemies don't get stunned for long. They reset quickly. And if you stay in range, you trade damage, which is never worth it. Another detail becomes clear. Sword range is short. Shorter than it feels like it should be. Which means spacing is everything. Tommy misses a swing, just slightly out of reach. The Octorok fires immediately after, hit again. Max nods. Yeah, you have to commit. Not too early, not too late, just close enough. That's the balance. Tommy slows down even more. Wait, block, step, attack, step back. The pattern becomes smoother, less panic, more control. And slowly, the game starts to make sense. Not because it explains itself, but because they're learning its rules. One small detail at a time. Danny leans back slightly. This isn't hard. Then pauses. It just punishes mistakes. Max smiles. Yeah, same thing. They all laugh quietly, because now they understand. This game isn't about reacting fast. It's about not making mistakes. And that's a very different kind of challenge. Tommy moves forward again. More enemies ahead. But this time, he doesn't hesitate. Not because he's confident, but because now he knows just enough to try again.